Hereford, one of the most isolated cities in England, situated on the banks of the River Wye and a matter of miles away from the Welsh border. A city famous for its cider, cattle, and most importantly, a giant-killing football club. Hereford United enjoyed 31 seasons in the Football League and produced an iconic cup scalp against Newcastle United. Since those days, football in the city has painted a very different picture, with fans enduring more pain than most. So we ventured to Edgar Street to find out the Hereford story.
With Hereford, it's very much a football city.
This stand that we're in now, there's nothing like it in the country, I don't think. The curve, the noise it makes. I remember standing at the front and turning around and hearing the noise and was like, well, I want to be part of that.
It was walking along the road and seeing the big Hereford United Football Club letters up on the outside the Len Western. Yeah, I just remember thinking this is my team.
There's no other place like it. There's no stadium like it. The stadium it's beautiful. The fan base is different. It's a massive club. It's one of the sleeping giants, I'd say.
So it's very much a city that loves football, and everyone gets behind the football club.
2014 told the most tragic tale of the Hereford United story. Financial mismanagement saw the club relegated from the EFL and later expelled from the conference. There was a dark cloud over Edgar Street.
It was horrific. It was like a slow death. The previous season, the club had got themselves in a complete financial mess. So we managed to stay up on the final day. We beat Aldershot 2-1, but then the club was sold to a businessman called Tommy Agomba, who didn't pay the required bond to the conference. I think it was the Skrill Premier, it might have been back then. And then we got relegated 2 leagues. We were in the Southern League, and there was a boycott, and it was horrible. You had supporters, a lot of infighting, and it was just a really, really tough time.
I mean, there was players sleeping in the rooms at the stadium, sleeping on the floor and stuff.
Well, I was part of the boycott, so in that time, didn't bother coming to any of the games. That we didn't want to put any money into this club because we knew what was happening behind the scenes.
And once people lose interest and stop going to the game, there's no money coming in, and then that's it. But we had no choice at the time. But it just didn't feel like our club anymore.
In what must have felt like a death by 1,000 cuts for supporters, by December 2014, Hereford United had been officially wound up, leaving a football-shaped chasm in the city. Not to be beaten, the Supporters Trust started a Phoenix Club, with the council protecting Edgar Street, allowing football in the city to remain at their iconic home, under the new name, Hereford FC.
We always knew that we'd come back, and it was always important to come back and play at Edgar Street, and in black and white, and obviously with the bull on the crest.
The council were really supportive of the football club, so it wasn't like the ground was owned by a local businessman who was then going to bulldoze it and put a supermarket on it.
It was sort of determined a couple of months beforehand, with John Hale and a few of the founding shareholders getting together. We needed a club to support, so everyone was really behind it.
It was just that we had our club back. And we played FC United in Manchester here in a friendly, and I still remember the goal. It was a terrible goal, but there was like 4,000 here, and that was one of the loudest I've ever heard Edgar Street when we scored.
Yeah, it was just great seeing the stadium full again because we'd had some pretty poor seasons, so the crowds weren't great. So seeing 4,000 Hereford supporters in the ground was great, and it was just entertaining. It was entertaining. It was cheap to get in as well because the club had reduced the price because it was now the Midland League, and it was brilliant. And you got people that were coming to the games that had never been to watch Hereford before, so it was a new generation of supporters, new young supporters as well, and yeah, it was a good time.
The start of the new era brought the joy back for Hereford fans. They were back at Edgar Street, enjoying football again, not worrying about matters off the pitch. That football was spectacular too. In their first season, the Bulls won the league and made it to the FA Vase final, which was followed up by another 2 promotions in the following seasons. The early years were the glory years for Hereford FC.
It was a great time, those first 3 seasons of promotion. I mean, after 20 odd years of supporting Hereford and mostly being rubbish, it was a welcome change, to actually win something, even if it was what we considered at the time a Park League.
The Midland League, we started pretty poorly, but then we managed to get ourselves going and won promotion. The following season, it was Southern League South or West. I think we only lost 1 match, But the following season in Southern League Premier, I think Pete Beadle deserves a lot of credit for that season, because I think his achievement was brilliant to do that, and to do 3 promotions was a fantastic feat. And I know people say he had the budget, he had the players, but you've still got to do it.
Yeah, it really did feel for a while like it did when I was 8. When I first come to a game, it felt buzzing again. And there'd been several years where we'd been poor on the pitch, poor off the pitch, that the feel-good factor came back, yeah.
Since 2018, the Bulls have remained in the National League North and are yet to finish higher than 11th. However, the arrival of Paul Caddis as manager in 2023 has brought renewed hope at Edgar Street.
We've knolled out the past few seasons, but I think we are where we should be. But we should be challenging for promotion this season, definitely. The last few seasons have been great.
Last few years, a bit of a managerial merry-go-round. We've got Paul Caddis in now, and he's done a brilliant job at reigniting the passion amongst the fan base and reconnecting with the city.
Paul Caddis has come in and rejuvenated the football club, and yeah, it's onwards and upwards really. Hopefully the level of crowds will stay high, because that means the club then can invest in the playing budget if needed, and hopefully we'll be there or thereabouts end of the season.
Following the Reformation, the club has been known as Hereford FC, but now there are growing calls amongst supporters for the Hereford United name to return. Coinciding with the original club's 100-year anniversary, it could be a special way to mark the occasion.
As I say, when I first come to a game and I looked up at the outside of the stand and saw the Hereford United Football Club letters with the Sun Valley logo, it was that caught me really, and it was always Hereford United to me. Even when I've gone away elsewhere, you say Hereford, oh, Hereford United.
Every game, the Hereford United song, that's chanted every game. There's multiple songs with the words United in it.
It was sad to see Hereford United liquidated, but Hereford FC is the Phoenix club, and I'm not sure really. I think it's a subject that's a little bit emotive, and it would be great to see Hereford United return, but I don't know what the legal ramifications are.
It's always Hereford United to most people. People don't refer to it as Hereford FC. It's always United, and it's time with the 100th anniversary of the formation of the club.
I mean, a lot of teams, when they were called United at the end of their club, was because they've merged 2 teams together, and I think that's just very apt for this season.
It would be the righting of a wrong. To me, that would possibly be up there with winning a league title, a Premier League title. For me, I'd do anything for United to come back, yeah.
For the change to take place, there would need to be a vote amongst the supporters group Hust, who own 50% of the club. The vote could be approaching very soon, with the Hust AGM set to take place in the coming months. Emotions will be high and opinions will be mixed, but the love for their club is equal across all supporters.
So, the club is owned by a series of shareholders. So there's 5 main shareholders, of which Hust are one of them, the Sports Trust. So we would require a vote at Hust level of 75% of members to vote for United. Hust owns 50% of the club, and we would need 75% of all shareholders. So in theory, 3 of the big 5.
I think my kind of opinion is, as long as there's football being played here and the badge says Forever United on it, but I'm kind of riding the fence. I'm happy either way. I'm just glad there's football back here.
Again, I think it would be a massive buzz. I think everyone will come together and be like, yes, this is our club again. It always has been our club, but I think there'll be a massive buzz around that. I think it's not even just us. I think other clubs will feel that buzz too. They'll see that Hereford United are back.
Whilst many supporters hope the name change will take place soon, what doesn't change is the loyalty of fans. The fans who have been through so much since the turn of the century. The fans who return to Edgar Street, their unique home, every week. It's the fans that make their club so special.
It feels like home. It's an old girl, but she's ours.
A lot of them, it's basically, with a lot of supporters, it's their life. They work hard all week, and football's their release, and they go out with their friends and have a few drinks and enjoy the atmosphere, and it's something they get behind, and it's very much a social scene.
it's cliche, every club says it, but it is a family. It's, I recently went to a wedding of a mate that I met through the football, and all of my mates I met through the football, or I work with them now and we talk about the football. So yeah, it's very special, yeah.